moving on to number 3. Just focus this in a little bit better. There we go. Number 3 says a chef uses 0.03 liter of olive oil to make soup. He uses 10 times as much chicken broth as oil. How much chicken broth does he use? And then I've got some information here. So some things that stand out to me are the fact that I probably need to go back and read this again, because anytime I'm thinking about 10 times as much, I just have to slow down and read that information. So I'm going to read it again. It says a chef uses 0.03 liter of olive oil to make soup. He uses 10 times as much chicken broth as olive oil. How much chicken broth does he use? So now that I've read that twice, what I'm seeing is I need to know how much olive oil he's using. He uses 0.03 olive oil. And he uses 10 times as much chicken broth. When I read that 10 times as much, I'm thinking to myself, well, that sounds like more. So I'm actually going to write 10 times more chicken broth as the olive oil. So he's going to be using more broth than oil. So that means I'm going to have a greater amount of broth. So where do we start? Well, I'm going to first start by writing the olive oil. So over here I'm going to write my olive oil amount, and my olive oil amount is 0 and 0.03. So that's 3/100 liter. If I know that the chicken is going to be 10 times more, then that means that my 3 is going to be 10 times bigger. So I'm actually going to move the 3 over one place value, because remember, every time we move it, we're getting 10 times bigger. We're going to move it to the left, and I'm going to put that 3 here, and my decimal's not going to change, and my 0 is going to stay there. So this amount, 3/10, is bigger than 3/100. So this amount, 3/10, is going to represent my broth. So now I need to go back and I need to locate that in my answer choices. I wouldn't want to go with F because F is actually getting smaller. So I'm going to cross that out. I wouldn't want to go with G because G is actually the same amount. We know that's not true. When I look at H, H looks like the answer that I do want, but I want to make sure that I'm a good problem solver and look at J. And J says 3 liters. Well, I can't go from using just a tiny part of a liter to automatically using 3 whole liters. So that doesn't even make good sense. So I'm going to get rid of that one. So the best answer choice is H.